Have you ever felt stuck in the same mindset, as if life is not moving forward? The Art of Changing Your Mindset is a book that will help you discover the power to change the way you think, achieve inner balance, and open the door to a more peaceful and meaningful life. In this book, you will be invited to recognize the mental habits that keep you from happiness and success. Step by step, you will learn how to transform negative mindsets into positive ones, find serenity amidst the hustle and bustle of the world, and achieve harmony in every aspect of life. If you are looking for ways to improve your relationship with yourself, find balance and live a happier life, this book is the guide you need. Listen to our exclusive podcast to dig deeper into how the art of changing your mindset can be the key to your life transformation. Hello everyone, my name is August. Welcome to the Shift Perspective podcast. This time we are going to talk about a book called The Art of Changing Your Mindset. A podcast that will change the way you look at life and open the door to a more peaceful and meaningful life. Hope you find it useful.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into another juicy topic today. It's all about unleashing that creative spark we all have hidden inside and, actually getting stuff done.
Oh, the eternal struggle, right? Finding that balance between inspiration and actually crossing things off that to-do list.
Isn't it though? So, to help us crack the code today, we're taking a deep dive into the art of changing your mindset. This book really got me thinking, and it's by Agnieszka Wilinska-Skuza.
Oh, I've heard good things.
Yeah, she's got this really interesting background, spent like 20 years doing high-level consulting, but also has this deep appreciation for art. And she brings those two worlds together in a way that just clicked for me.
That's so interesting. What is it about her approach that stood out to you?
Honestly, it was this idea of inner balance that she talks about. It's not just about like another productivity hack. It's about finding the sense of equilibrium within yourself.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does she connect that inner balance to, actually excelling in our careers and life in general?
So she argues that when one area of our life is off kilter, it kind of throws everything else out of whack, right? Like if you're feeling creatively drained, it's going to be tough to show up as your best self at work or in your relationships.
That makes sense. It's like that saying you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. And sometimes it feels like my creative well is a bone dry, I want to be innovative, but I've also got deadlines and emails piling up. How does this book address that kind of struggle, that balance between finding inspiration and actually having the energy to act on it?
Well, she makes this fascinating connection between artistic thinking and, get this, success in any field. Not just for artists. She argues that by tapping into some of the principles that, say, Da Vinci used, we can unlock new levels of creativity and problem solving, even if we're not, painting masterpieces ourselves.
Wait, so it's not about literally becoming a painter, it's about adopting a certain mindset.
Exactly.
I like it. Tell me more.
Okay, so one of the core principles she highlights is this word, and I love how it sounds, curiosita. Basically, it's that insatiable curiosity we all had as kids, that drive to explore, to experiment, to constantly ask why.
Curiosita. I love that. Makes it sound like a superpower. And it kind of is, right? Being curious, I mean.
Totally. And she emphasizes the importance of constantly seeking out new knowledge, new experiences.
Yeah.
Because that's where those aha moments come from, right?
Yeah.
Those fresh perspectives.
I resonate with that. Sometimes I get so caught up in the day-to-day grind that I forget to just be curious about the world. It's like I lose that sense of wonder we all had as kids. So how do we actually cultivate that curiosity, especially when it feels like we're constantly bombarded with information and demands on our time?
Well, that's where another one of Da Vinci's skills comes in, which is dimostrazione.
Okay, dimostrazione. Say that again.
Dimostrazione. It's a mouthful, I know, but basically it means testing knowledge through experience. So it's not enough to just read about something. We have to actually go out and try it, experiment, learn from our mistakes even.
So it's about getting our hands dirty, not just staying in our heads.
Exactly. Getting out of our comfort zones and putting what we learn into practice. That's how we really make it stick.
Okay, that makes total sense. But let's be real. For someone who feels stuck in a rut, maybe their creative juices aren't flowing, where do they even begin with this whole dimostrazione thing? It can feel pretty daunting.
That's so true. And I think that's where the idea of mindset comes into play big time. Adopting what's called a growth mindset, this belief that our abilities aren't fixed, that we can always learn and grow, even if it's uncomfortable at times.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of a growth mindset.
Wolinska Skuza actually talks about Carol Dweck's work, who did a lot of research on mindsets.
Right. That rings a bell.
And it's so easy to fall into that fixed mindset trap, thinking, oh, I'm just not a creative person, or I'm just not good at this. But what if we could actually train our brains to be more innovative?
I mean, that's kind of a mind-blowing concept, right? That we're not just stuck with whatever creative capacity we were born with, that it's something we can actually cultivate.
Absolutely. And that's where things start to get really exciting, because once you embrace that growth mindset and you start actively nurturing your curiosity and your dimostrazione.
You're unstoppable. Haha. Okay, maybe not unstoppable, but I bet it opens up some cool possibilities.
You start seeing opportunities and solutions you might have missed before.
It's like a chain reaction. One shift in mindset can unlock this whole new way of approaching challenges and coming up with creative solutions. Okay, I'm definitely starting to see how this all ties together. This is making me think about something I struggle with. It's one thing to have a great idea, but actually turning it into, something real, that's where I get tripped up.
The classic idea to execution gap. We've all been there.
For real, it's like my to-do list becomes this monster hiding under the bed.
Haha, I know that feeling. Sounds like we need to bring in some reinforcements from the productivity camp.
Yes, because having creative energy is amazing, but it needs some direction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what does Wolinska Skuza suggest when it comes to actually getting things done?
Well, she dives into a bunch of productivity techniques. Some might be familiar. One that I thought was really interesting, especially when we're talking about this whole curiosity and dimostrazione combo, is the Eisenhower decision matrix.
Okay, that rings a bell, but kind of vaguely. Remind me what that one's all about.
Basically, it's a way of making smarter decisions about how we use our time and energy, It's so easy to get caught up in stuff that feels urgent, but doesn't actually move us closer to what we really care about.
Oh, I feel that. All those little urgent but not important tasks that eat up our day.
Right. The Eisenhower matrix helps us see those for what they are.
Okay, so how does it actually work in practice?
So picture a simple grid, right? On one side, you've got urgent and not urgent, and on the other side, you've got important and not important.
I'm picturing it.
Perfect. Now, think about each thing on your to-do list and put it into one of those 4 boxes.
Okay, so something that's both urgent and important would be like, I don't know, answering an email from an important client or meeting a deadline for a project, right?
Exactly. Those are things we've got to deal with right away, no question. But then you have things that are important but not urgent. Like maybe it's working on a long-term project, doing some strategic planning, or even just blocking off time for your own professional development.
So that's where things like nurturing that curiosity would come in, setting aside time for reading or learning something new. It's not urgent at this very second, but it's definitely important in the long run.
Precisely. And those are often the first things to go when we're feeling stressed or pressed for time, even though they're crucial for growth.
It's so true. It's so easy to get stuck in that cycle of just putting out fires and never making time for the things that'll actually move us forward.
Totally. Now, on the flip side, you've got tasks that are urgent but not important. Those are often those sneaky distractions that masquerade as necessities. Like, I don't know about you, but I get sucked into those endless email chains that everyone feels the need to hit reply all on.
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on those. Or those meetings that could have totally been an email.
The worst, right. And they feel so urgent in the moment, even though they're not actually moving the needle on anything that matters. So the Eisenhower matrix helps us spot those time wasters and be more strategic about how we deal with them.
I love that. It's like a superpower for reclaiming your time and attention.
Exactly. And then, of course, there are those tasks that are neither urgent nor important. Those are the ones that we can probably just let go of entirely, delegate them, or just say, nope.
Music to my ears. Okay, so by consciously thinking about our tasks this way, we can be more intentional about how we use our energy, making sure we're giving our best to the stuff that's really going to make a difference. I'm into it. It feels like a simple but powerful tool.
It's all about finding that balance, right? Like Wolinska Skuza talks about with inner balance. It's not about becoming a productivity robot. It's about understanding what matters most to us and aligning our actions with our values and goals.
This is making me want to rethink my whole approach to, well, everything.
And speaking of aligning actions with goals, Wolinska Skuza also talks about some other cool time management techniques, especially if you're looking to maximize those bursts of creative energy.
Okay, you've got my attention. Tell me more.
So she's a big fan of focused work sprints, and she actually mentions Robin Sharma's 90-91 rule.
90-91. Vaguely familiar. Give me a refresher.
Sure. So the idea is that you take the first 90 minutes of your workday and dedicate it solely to your single most important task. No distractions, no multitasking, just pure focused effort.
Okay, so 90 minutes of pure focus first thing in the morning. It sounds intense, but kind of amazing too. No more of that morning scramble where I'm like half asleep and getting pulled in a million directions.
Exactly. You're setting yourself up for success by dedicating your peak energy to that one task that'll make the biggest difference. And then you repeat that focused 90-minute sprint throughout the day.
So you're not just glued to your desk for 9 hours straight. There are breaks built in to kind of recharge.
Absolutely. Remember, Wolinska Skuza is all about working smarter, not harder. And that means recognizing that our energy levels naturally go up and down during the day. Taking breaks is essential, not just for relaxation, but to actually be more productive in the long run.
It's like that whole thing about sprinting versus running a marathon.
Exactly.
So by using these techniques, by making small changes to our mindset and our approach, we can actually become more creative and productive. It's not just like something you're born with.
That's what's so inspiring about this book. It's a call to action, a reminder that we all have the potential to achieve amazing things no matter our background or what we do.
I love that. And this whole deep dive has given me a ton to think about. From cultivating that curiosity to embracing dimostrazione to putting the Eisenhower matrix into practice, it's a lot to digest.
It is. But the good news is, you don't have to do it all at once. Just start with one thing that resonates with you. Maybe dedicate those first 90 minutes of your day to focused work. Or try using the Eisenhower matrix to prioritize your to-do list. Experiment and see what works for you.
Yeah, find your own way to unlock that inner Da Vinci.
Exactly.
And hey, even small changes can lead to big results, right?
Absolutely. It all starts with taking that first step.
This has been such a great conversation. The Art of Changing Your Mindset is definitely going on my reading list. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we wrap things up?
Stay curious. Don't be afraid to experiment. And remember that growth is a journey.
Being comfortable with yourself is a simple way to be happy. Please comment in the comment section on what lessons you learned from reading this book. If you would like to have the book, please order it from the link in the description section of this video. I take my leave. Don't forget to subscribe to the Shift Perspective YouTube channel. Bye-bye.